Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if I'm loud. I got people in the back looking at us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, what you have before you is a squadron of musketeers. Now, if you think of musketeers, certain imagery comes to your mind. With that imagery in your head, I want you to look at these fine folks. Can anyone tell me what's missing? Rapier, very good. Swords, yes. That's because unlike those fancy French gentlemen, these fine folks have not been trained in the use of the swords since they were this big. Those Frenchmen are all gentlemen, therefore learning how to use the sword is part of their education. These fine folk have been voluntold to join the army. Therefore, I only have a couple of weeks in order to train them and put them out into the battlefield. So I'm not going to focus on anything that they don't need to worry about. They will be given a sword. This, when they walk around town, tells everyone, I'm a soldier. However, they won't use it as a sword. They'll use it more as a tool. A hammer to put in their tent stake. A spit to roast their dinner. Or, an axe to cut firewood. They actually won't use it in combat. That's because they have this, the Matchlock musket, a weapon that weighs upwards of 20 pounds. And when held in that position, makes an excellent club. It's also longer than any sword, so he'll be able to clobber somebody before he can ever be stabbed. It's very simple weapon. These are Matchlock muskets, as I said. They use a piece of burning match cord, that's why they're called matchlocks. It's a cotton or hemp rope that has been soaked in saltpeter's. When ignited, burns very hot and very slowly. It's a very simple weapon to use. There are only 21 steps. This taught them through the pages of a picture book. Most books in the Renaissance can't read or write. Therefore, they look at the picture in order to know how to stand and what to do. So, the first of these steps, they will handle their piece. They will then open their pad. Clean out their pad. Always no musketeers down the street because their thumb will be black. They will then handle their prime and prime their piece, pouring a small amount of very fine gunpowder in that pan that, when ignited by that very hot coal, will set off the main charge. They will then close their pan. Because they have that very hot coal, they will cast off loose cords and blow off loose cords. Cords being the name for the grains of gunpowder. They will then cast them out their piece, which gives them access to the muzzle. They will then handle their charge. There's 3 of the musketeers went for the wooden bottles across their chest. Each of these wooden bottles, their bandolier of charges, holds enough gunpowder for 1 shot from the muzzle. This is pre-measured. Forward from the field. Not exactly the most intelligent people, so the less thinking they have to do, the easier and safer my job is. You're doing on the end, however, 6 steps, she's using a paper cartridge. This is because, unlike the musketeers who walk around all day, she actually gets a horse to ride around on. She actually doesn't fight from the horse, though. She will actually ride from one point to another very quickly on the battlefield, dismount, and then fight as a regular musketeer. But however, if she were using a bandolier while bouncing around on horseback, she'd have black eyes from here to Sunday. So she uses the paper cartridge instead. They will charge their piece. At this point, if they're loading a lead ball, which they're not today, they fish one out of the pouch at their side, or more often than not, just spit one into their hand or down the barrel from their mouth. Now, why would they do that? Well, they don't understand the danger of lead poisoning in the 16th century. And more so, when the practical reason is, it's very easy to spit one in your hand or right down the barrel, rather than have to fish around in that pouch, particularly when someone's shooting at you. They will then draw forth their scouring stick and ram home their charge. Probably the most important step of this entire drill is they will recover their scouring stick and replace it. Why is it so important? Well, it's very, it's an excellent projectile. Don't get me wrong, you can fire it. It's a rather awkward weapon, however. The awkward part is them to go across the battlefield and ask for it back. We don't want any shish kebabs, so we make sure we put it back. So they will recover their piece. At this point, they will take both their match and blow it well. Blow that match to make sure the ash is off and that coal is good and hot. You may actually see it glow orange there. They will then cock and try their match, placing it in the jaws of the serpentine and ensuring the match is going to hit the proper place in the pan. It is at this point that they are ready to fire, so I shall turn them in a safe direction. Musketeers, by the right hand, wheel about the center. Waiting for the command to Present your piece. Have a care. Give fire. Now, good musketeers are expected to be able to perform all those actions 3 times in a minute. Obviously, they can't do that while we're doing the drill. They can open your hand, close your hand, and all that. So a musketeer on the battlefield, that drill goes right out the window. This is how they learn to use the piece. Now they're going to do it for survival. So all I need to say is, musketeers, make ready your pace. They'll do what they do best, while I stand in the back, avoid being shot at, and contemplate life. After 11 weeks, they've gotten very fast. Present your piece. Give fire. Musketeers, make ready your piece. Now you notice for all that drill, the butt of their weapon never touches the ground. So it's positively hold their hands. This is very important because musketeers are actually providing the cover fire for the king of the battlefield. That's the pikeman. This is a very large individual. One of them is actually down there with a big black hat. He's normally wearing full armor and carrying an 18-foot ash spear. He also carries a sword and knows how to use it. It's the musketeer's job to get him into hand-to-hand combat so he can do the most damage and do what he does best. In order to do that, because all the while the musketeers are reloading and firing, the pikemen are advancing in a very intimidating wall. The musketeers need a way to be able to keep up with that. What we do is called fire by advance. So, imagine 3 more musketeers behind each row here. The rear rank will be called to the front. They will fire a volley, as you just saw. They'll immediately begin the reloading process. The new rear rank will come forward and do the same. So the effect you get is you're leapfrogging towards the enemy. All the while, those pikemen are steadily advancing towards their foes. Rather impressive. We'll show you what it looks like. Musketeers, with the left hand, double your right. Rear rank, advance to the fore. Present your piece. Give fire. Rear rank, advance to the fore. Present your piece. Give fire. One moment, we've got a bit of a misfire. Fire! Hold your musketeer, face right with the left hand. By the left hand, double your fight.